The world isn't ready for what's coming out of Africa, but you will be. Stay tuned, hit subscribe, and be part of the journey Africa was always meant to take. What if I told you one of Africa's most challenged nations is laying the groundwork for an economic revolution so bold, it's making global powers take notice? This isn't a story about foreign aid or miracle loans. It's about an ambitious blueprint, authored by Captain Ibrahim Traoré, that aims to reclaim his country's wealth. And the reason it's turning heads is that if it works, it could offer a new path for others on the continent. This is the story of how a quiet revolution is taking shape, challenging a neo-colonial order that has persisted for generations. For decades, the story has been painfully familiar. A continent of immense natural wealth, home to nations like Burkina Faso, seems stuck in a cycle of poverty. It's a paradox that has puzzled many. A land rich in gold, cotton, and untapped potential, yet its people see little of the benefits. The reasons are complex, rooted in colonial-era systems and trade deals that siphon resources away, leaving dependency behind. This system was designed to keep African nations as suppliers of cheap raw materials, their economic fates decided in boardrooms thousands of miles away. But that could all be changing, as a young, determined leader has decided to write a new playbook. Enter Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the transitional president of Burkina Faso, a figure who isn't just leading a country, but aiming to ignite a movement. Section 1. The Blueprint for Sovereignty. What we're seeing isn't just a series of random policies, but a cohesive and deliberate blueprint intended to dismantle the architecture of dependency, pillar by pillar. The international community is watching, not because of angry speeches, but because Traoré's plan is a systematic guide to achieving greater economic independence. It's a strategy so direct, it's seen as a challenge to the old way of doing things. This blueprint is built on 4 powerful pillars: reclaiming the nation's wealth, feeding the nation, building the future, and breaking the chains of the past. Each pillar is a strategic move against the forces that have held Burkina Faso and much of Africa back. The first pillar is perhaps the most audacious: reclaiming the nation's wealth. For generations, Burkina Faso's most valuable resource, gold, was extracted and flown to Europe for refining. The profits were made elsewhere, while the nation received just a fraction of its true value. Traoré's government is trying to flip the script. He has taken steps to gain greater control of the mining sector and announced a halt to the export of artisanal gold. To that end, he laid the foundation stone for a national gold refinery in November 2023. While construction appears to be at a standstill as of late 2024, the goal is to one day process the gold on Burkina soil. This move sends a clear message: the days of selling raw potential for pennies on the dollar may be numbered. The second pillar is just as revolutionary: feeding the nation. How can a nation be truly sovereign if it can't feed its own people? Traoré's administration has launched an ambitious agricultural initiative, investing heavily in modernizing farming by providing seeds, tractors, and irrigation equipment to local farmers. Initiatives like the National Support Center for Artisanal Cotton Processing aim to revitalize key industries, create jobs, and add value locally. While it is too early for comprehensive data, initial reports suggest some positive progress, with modest increases in tomato, millet, and rice production between 2022 and 2024. This isn't just about growing food. It's about breaking free from the global supply chains that can be used for political leverage. With the goals of wealth and food security outlined, the third pillar of Traoré's blueprint comes into focus: building the future. This is where the vision gets ambitious, with plans for over 20 mega development projects. We're not talking about minor upgrades. We're talking about a proposed transformation of the nation's infrastructure. In the capital, Ouagadougou, the government laid the first stone for the Burkina Business Center in late 2024, a stunning real estate project valued at over $500 million. Plans for this complex include a 35-story tower, 15 other high-rises, apartments, offices, and shopping malls, all designed with smart technology. This isn't just a building project. It's a statement that an African nation can envision and pursue world-class infrastructure for itself. Beyond the capital, the vision expands. The government has revitalized the Ouagadougou-Donson Airport project, which is set to become a regional hub. There is a bold plan to build 5,000 kilometers of new paved roads, which would revolutionize logistics and connect rural communities. To power this new economy, Burkina Faso is looking to the future, having signed an agreement with Russia to cooperate on the peaceful use of nuclear energy. These projects, from new hospitals to locally assembled electric vehicles, are all interconnected pieces of a grand strategy to create a more modern and self-sufficient state. This brings us to the fourth and final pillar, the one that ties everything together: breaking the chains. Economic strategies mean little without political sovereignty. Traoré has been unapologetic in his anti-imperialist stance, framing his nation's struggle as a war of independence. In a decisive move, he expelled French troops in 2023, ending a decades-long military presence and signaling a definitive break from the former colonial power. But he didn't stop there. Understanding that regional strength is key, Traoré was instrumental in forming the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, with neighboring Mali and Niger. This is a mutual defense and economic pact that creates a new center of power in the Sahel, one that is independent of Western influence. The AES countries are working towards establishing closer economic ties, with the ambition of creating a confederation. This alliance is more than a partnership. It's the beginning of a new Pan-African vision, where African nations work together for their collective security and prosperity. This is the blueprint taking shape. It's a bold, multifaceted strategy to reclaim a nation's destiny. It's a model that suggests that with visionary leadership and unwavering determination, the cycle of dependency can be challenged. The question is no longer if an African nation can rise, but who will be next to follow this path. If you believe in this vision of a self-reliant and sovereign Africa, don't just watch this. Be part of the change. Share this story to spread the word about the revolution that is attempting to get underway. Like and subscribe to join a community that is committed to amplifying these powerful African stories. The plans being unveiled by Captain Ibrahim Traoré are more than just policies for Burkina Faso. They represent a potential turning point for the entire African continent. It is a direct challenge to the idea that Africa needs saviors. Instead, it suggests that what Africa needs is the freedom to own its resources, build its own industries, and determine its own future. The road ahead won't be easy. There is immense pressure from external forces who benefit from the old system. And there are ongoing internal security challenges. But the energy on the ground is undeniable. It's a feeling of hope, pride, and revolutionary fervor. Traoré's vision, deeply inspired by past leaders like Thomas Sankara, has ignited a flame of Pan-African solidarity that is spreading far beyond the borders of his nation. The world may be watching, some with fear, and others with inspiration. But one thing is clear: a new chapter is being written. This is more than a plan. It's a declaration of intent. Africa is changing, and this is just the beginning. Stay with us till the end And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the truth the world tries to hide.